and good evening for those who are joining from other places. Our session today is about National Research and Education Network. We will start with Dr. Sausan Creation. She is the General Director for the Computation Center in Tunisia. She is a full professor and the General Director of Al-Khawarizmi Computing Center. She was the Vice President of the University of Tunis and Director of the Doctoral Scholar in that university. She is also the head of the decision-making team at the research laboratory there. She works on artificial intelligence, big data analytics, single and multi-objective optimization, dynamic optimization, among many other research areas. She has a large research team with 12 PhD students and 20 master students. She has a lot of highly cited and highly impacted publications. I will give you the time to read her bio in the website of e-AGE conference. Please welcome Dr. Sausan and enjoy her nice presentation. Dr. Sausan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to be among you for the first time. I discovered this nice organization, and I am so proud to be in touch with, firstly, with Mr. Youssef and all of you, dear colleagues. Let's start by sharing the screen. So as said by Professor Ahmed, I am an output of the Tunisian community. I had my doctorate, my PhD. Do you see my screen? It's okay. Mr. Ahmed, do you see my screen? Is it okay for you?
Yes, we see your screen.
Okay, okay, thank you. So I'm 6 months ago, I was nominated in this position in Khawarizmi Computing Center, which is old, let's say, for 45 years. So this is the photo of our computing center, which is a service provider now. Let's present the CCK, which is the computing center of Al-Khawarizmi. Some statistics, it was created in 45 years ago. To be a general direction in the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research now. We are 57 members. We have 12 administrators, about, let's say, 10 engineers, 40 technicals and other employees. So we have an administration which is geographically located in Tunis, but far from the ministry. So it is a separate administration. We are a service provider, an internet provider mainly for all Tunisian faculties and so on. So we firstly try to host all websites. So we have about 350 websites to be hosted here, and 12 national applications. we have a messaging service which gathers two kinds of accounts, email accounts, which are the national email accounts and Microsoft accounts. We try to boost the SMSing service in this messaging service. We have a networking as we are a service provider, so we provide internet for 440 sites with variable debit. Yes. So we have we develop some applications in the digital production, and we have a service which is named security. So we have to secure all applications or websites and so on. So for these 5 services, we try to improve our service for all faculty members, administrators, decision makers in the field of information systems, in the field of computer science in general. So I will skip some slides because I am speaking more than reading the slides. So we have a young staff which is very dynamic. We try to have a SWOT matrix in order to study the successes, what are the success points, what are the potentialities of our staff, what are the limits, and what are the main problems to be faced on in our country. So we studied this 4 axes and try to go ahead in the digitalization process of the ministry as well as all faculties that are involved in our ministry. Our mission is, as said before, to organize, to encourage, to boost the use of digitalization of information systems, the use of cloud computing, and so on, and to familiarize all staff, university staff, to the use of centralized platforms. So here, our vision is a derivation from this mission. So we have to mainly here in this slide to provide some facilitations, some trainings, some certified trainings for the community. So by encouraging them, by trying to deal with this stuff and say that certified trainings are very, very useful for their CVs, for their scalability in the university. So to deal with the strategic directions, here we have 4 main strategic directions, which are the governance, all things that are related with infrastructure, what are the main services to be available for our community, and how to progress within the socio-economic environment mainly. So we have started the quality, the culture of quality in Khawarizmi Computing Center by launching some ISO standards, mainly the ISO related to the quality and to the security and risk. So here we deal with our partners, mainly NREN, the International NRENs Academic Network. So we are very, very proud and very optimistic to gain in terms of certified trainings to be open with the international communities as ASREN. So we are now about studying the cyber security, the setting of a security operations center, how to deal with more security about data, which is national, which are national big data here. So how to deal with audits, how to evaluate our work, how to validate our output, and so on. These are procedures that are ensured by some organization here in Tunis. So our current projects are mainly about a national cloud, which is related to scientific research and higher education. We are working about how to improve the email accounts as an advanced messaging solution with a professional solution. We are implementing now a drive as it is the case of Google Drive with let's say an improved area of storage and a backup site in another university here to ensure the security of information. These are the main four, and we are moving to a fourth generation of our national network in order to improve the debit of our internet connectivity. So these are the details about the architecture. We are now about implementing an HPC here in CCK, and we are moving to Ipv6 2. Another strategic project is the outdoor Wi-Fi, which is ensured by the Ministry of Technology and Telecommunication here in Tunisia. Strategic partners are as ASREN, of course. So we have to improve our partnership here. Our future projects are currently and in future the high performance computing, the HPC, which is an offer from China. We have to plan for shared and personalized hosting. How to mutualize our services with other universities and other partners, and we are working with the Mondial Bank in order to have some financials, some funds in order to enlarge our platform and mainly our cloud platform. We work also on certifications or certified trainings for our staff, and of course for the community. So here we have we look for some offers with our partners in order to improve this point mainly. So this is we try to these are the certifications for students, teachers, and administrative staff. So we have to promote also the PPP partnerships with higher education at the levels, at the two levels, national and international. Our expectation from the ministry, our ministry, and from our partners are we have to recruit other technical staffs, so to enrich our staff, because we are about 60 persons, so it's not sufficient to do such tasks. And we are mainly working on efficiency, transparency, good governance, and accessibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sausan, very much for your presentation. It's very nice and clear. And I would like to welcome questions, but I think let us have the questions at the end so everybody will first know the different aspects of national research and education networks from our guests today and our distinguished speaker. The next presentation is about the electronic research infrastructure and open science infrastructure in Turkey. The speaker is Professor Muhammad Mirat Satoglu. He is now the director of the Turkish National Research and Education Network, and he got his bachelor degree from Computer Science Department, Belkent University, his master and MLA degrees from EGA University and University of Pennsylvania, respectively. He worked as an IT professional for nearly 20 years at various international companies before he joins the Turkish National Research and Education Network. I'm not very aware of pronunciation of its name, so I think he will just tell us about it. It's Tobitak Olakbim. I hope I pronounced it correctly. He has been leading this national research and education network in Turkey since 2014. So he has a lot of experience in this, and he represented the national research and education network in Turkey in several organizations and boards, including GEO, SOCAP, EOSC, EGI, and Euro HPC boards. So I'm welcoming him. The floor is yours, Muhammad.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, and thank you to Dr. Yusuf for inviting me actually for the session. A lot of effort went into this program, and I wish the program will be as successful as before actually. It's been a tradition, even though it's my first time, and it's very nice to be here with you. Please allow me to share my screen and presentation. Are you able to see in presentation mode?
Yes, it's very clear, but I think it's not in full screen mode. So if you just open the presentation first and reshare, it may be useful.
Actually. Is this okay now? Are you able to see?
I think we are able to see it.
Okay.
So you can proceed, please.
Okay, thank you. So TÜBİTAK is the main research funding body in Turkey with over 20 different research institutes, and TÜBİTAK Ulakbim is the national research and education network along with other infrastructures. We are actually tasked with providing e-research infrastructures to all the researchers in Turkey and to all the universities. We have the network technologies unit with the academic network, HPC and cloud service. We have the information center, so digital library collections, article incentive mechanisms, journal park, document supply, and so on and so forth. And we also have some open source based education technologies and our own Debian based Linux distro actually. So let's start with our network. We have over 235 institutions connected with more than 1,000 connections. We serve about 4 million students and more than 150,000 researchers. Our backbone is 50 plus GB, and it's an IPv6 enabled backbone since 2003, nearly 20 years. We have a fully redundant 100 Gbps connection to Jehan Academic Network. We've been a member for nearly 20 years, and we have 200 GB connection to internet from Istanbul and Ankara. We have a computer security response team as well for the academic network, actually. Along with Jehan, we are actually running a lot of Jehan services in Turkey. So we are the Turkish Federation management team, essentially, of EduROM. We have 150 institutions nearly. And for this year, we had more than 23 million successful logins in EduROM. It's all over the country, as you can see. We had EduGain. Our federation in Turkey is called Yetkim. Turkish Federation had only 2 members until the beginning of this year, essentially. But now we have 87 identity providers and 2 service providers, and almost another 50 are in the pipeline to join. Why we had this interest this year? Because over 190 universities are members of Erasmus network, and Erasmus is going digital with the Erasmus Without Paper project. So this EduGain infrastructure is used for in academia and Erasmus, and we are part of 8 federations to do online student validation as of now. As I mentioned, we have an HPC center, and we are building a newer one. We are a member of EGI for quite a long time, and for the last 2 years, we've been a member of Euro HPC, and last year, we became a member of European Open Science Cloud. Our data center is Tier 2 center for Atlas and CMS experiments at CERN. We have a 25K cluster with 250 GPUs, 15 petabytes of storage, and around 4,000 registered users. We run a lot of additional services on the cloud. File Sender is another Jehan service. Nextcloud is, as you know, a well-known open source project. We have another open source video conference solution, and Zulip group chat serving our community. On the open science side, we actually have several infrastructures. Journal Park is one of them. We actually started with open journal systems and then rebuilt it due to performance reasons, because we are hosting right now over 2,000 journals. We optimized a lot open OJS system, but we couldn't go over 100 on that system. We right now are hosting 2,000 journals and more than 500,000 articles, growing by 80,000 each year. And this year, inshallah, we are running towards 200 million visits for the site. And these are our stats. It's integrated with Crossref, DOE, Google Scholar, and OpenAir, as you've seen. We also have Turkish index. This is very similar to Web of Science criteria for journals in Turkey, academic journals. We have 1,500 journals in the system, but some are still under review, and nearly 500,000 articles. Newer articles are over 90% open access, but we have articles going back to 90s, and earlier articles are only available with their abstracts, but not full text. Over 10 million references are in the system, and we are able to calculate impact factors, self-citations, most cited authors and articles, and so on and so forth. We also have a national catalog with over 200 libraries, and in the system we have 31 million records in total. And in terms of unique ISBN records, it's 13 million. And of these 200 plus libraries, we have nearly 600 branches in the system. It is very useful and takes about 5 million visits every year. We've been running these sites from 2010, actually, 2013 for Dergi Park, and 2012 for National Catalog. Without an open science policy, we actually have adopted an open science policy in 2019. We are still insisting on green open road access, but we are looking for gold open road, while providing a diamond access on journal park side. We will be revising and with a stronger language on research data sharing, because now we have several infrastructures for research data. The first one is Open Archive TÜBİTAK. This is actually an institutional repository and research data management system for all the researchers. We have 55,000 articles in the system, but only a handful of data sets yet. But we are actually requiring that you actually submit research data management plan for as of this year. So within a year or two, we are hoping to have many more data sets. The site is based on Zenodo. It's an in-venue RDM installation. And we have more than 150 institutional repositories. Okay. Let me share again. Is it okay? So this is university institutional repositories with their green open archive with more than 2 million articles in the system. It's the same technology built on OpenAir DNet software.
It's still stuck in presentation 2, slide 2. So maybe we can share from our side.
We only see about the NREN, about TÜBİTAK ULAK-BIM. This is the slide we have right now. Now it's moving. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe I'll go from here, actually. All right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So
we have now open science education.
All right. So
this is Turkey Academic Archive. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the one where we actually harvest 150 institutional repositories from different universities, and we have more than 2 million articles. The same technology as OpenAir, actually, which is the Green Road Open Access method. And for data management, research data management, we have DMP tool installation. And this system is integrated with grant application portal, and we require data management plans, not the data right now, but data management plans as of 2021. It's new for this year. So this has been installed in 2021. And we also have a couple of education sites for training users, informing them, providing them templates. And this is one of those, Open Science Education Portal. It has a lot of guidance regarding research data management, definition, preparation, processes, reuse, and sharing. And we also have open courseware material on research data management and research ethics, actually. So this is not an distance education portal for regular classes. It's only material for related to open science. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Muhammad, for the nice presentation. I think your presentation and Sausan's presentations, I'm sorry for omitting the doctor and professor titles, but the presentations were very nice and showed how we talked about what is beyond the connectivity. We are talking now about applications, we are talking about computation, we are talking about research, open research, something beyond the default connectivity items. So I'm sure that this will be the type of other presentations as well. We are now with the next presentation. The next presentation is about ASREN network and services. It will be demonstrated by Erico Proto, the IT consultant of ASREN Brazil. Erico has more than 16 years working in the rollout of network infrastructure across various continents. He worked for Red Clara from 2004 to 2010, leading the network implementation and establishing the network infrastructure for research and education within the Latin American region and towards Europe. Then he developed the research and education network for the Caribbean region from 2010 to 2016. Then he delivered the strategic planning and implementation of the supporting regional network infrastructure, and he led the teams of network engineering and operations and provide guidance and support for them. He is also a professor of computer network related courses in several universities in Brazil and an instructor with several workshops developed and delivered in the research and education community. He is now a consultant for the information technology and information security, working with ASREN, the Arab State Research and Education Network, based in Rio de Janeiro, Brasilia. So the floor is yours, and we are very happy to be with us today.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you all. Thank you for the nice presentation. You know, the nice introduction and very comprehensive. My presentation is about the progress that we have had within ASREN during this first 2 years of the starting of the AC3, the third phase of the Africa Connect project. So let me share my presentation. So let me check if it's working. Okay, good. So you are seeing the presentation, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to talk about the evolution of the services of ASREN during this first 2 years of the Africa Connect project, the third phase of the Africa Connection project, and also we have had some enhancements on the network and the services that we provide due to some remaining fundings from the UMED Connect free project. Those are 2 funding projects from the European Union that we receive and make available for ASREN to do connectivity and to provide more services to research and education communities. I would like to do a recap of the first year of the project to give some context for people that are new to this event, to this event and doesn't really know. I'm going to concentrate on the second year, but I'm going to do a recap of the first year to give some context here. Okay, so in the first year of the project, from November 2019 to November 2020, we have been focusing on establishing a network operations center. So for that, we needed to acquire some equipment that we started the procurement for that equipment on January of 2020. And we managed to integrate in our point of presence in UK all the equipment that we have acquired, some switches and some servers, to start to implement the tools that we need to manage the network to do the NOC service. The NOC is comprised of several services. We need to take care of fault event incident management. We have to take care of the performance of the network. So we need some tools to do the management, day-to-day operations and management of the network. And for that, we started this procurement service. But we knew on the first year that it's going to take some time for us to start the procurement process, award the contract, and have the equipment installed in London. It would take some time. For that reason, we started an interim project where we acquired some computing engine from Google, from the Google Cloud Computing, and we start to implement a partial NOC servicing on this virtual machine. So we started this process in February, and by April 2020, we have concluded the installation of some basic services. So we were able to provide NOC services for the community, for the network, and for the community in general. And when we concluded the installation of the equipment, we did a migration. So we have migrated all the services from the old Google VM, Google Virtual Machine, to our infrastructure, to our owned infrastructure. And since July of 2020, we have been operating our NOC services for our owned infrastructure. And in parallel to that process, we have, because we have acquired some very robust and some very robust capacity in terms of resources, our idea was to install just the tools necessary for the management of the network. But then we end up with a very good infrastructure. So we foreseen the possibility of providing that infrastructure to the users, to the communities on the National Research and Education Networks, in order to have also to install virtual machines. So we start to work on the possibility of providing some cloud services to the communities in general. So the process which started as a provisioning of NOC services has evolved, and we now are in a position that allows us to provide some cloud services to the research and education communities. So the tools that we installed in the first year were for performance monitoring, so we can check the utilization of all the links. Although we didn't have any real links established, only one to Jordan on the first year, but that changed. The landscape changed on the second year. But we have installed all the necessary tools to do the complete monitoring of the network. And we installed also a platform for event and incident monitoring, which is also capable of doing performance monitoring. So we can have alerts and emails sent to the operators and engineers if there is something wrong with the network and the equipment and other links. And also, we installed a platform to track requests. So if a user detects a problem on the network, or if a user wants to implement a new service or wants to change the configuration of the present service, they can open a request to our NOC. So basically, the first year of the project was concentrated, focused on bringing those services alive. In the second year, we focused more on connectivity. So we started some procurement process to acquire some capacity to some of the NRENs under the umbrella of the Africa Connect Free project. And we started very early this connectivity process, but those are very long processes. And you are familiar with the landscape of the Arabic region, and it's not very easy to try to find some capacity, in terms of lizard line. So we started very early, but it took some time for us to get to the point where we have the circuit commission. So the first one we started was the procurement for the capacity to the Tunisian NREN, CCK. And this contract was awarded in January, and by late in May, we were able to commission the link. So the link was established on May 2021, and is operational at present. The other procurement that we started was a link to Jordan, to the Sesame institution. If you were present on the first session today, you saw the presentation of the Sesame institution that does a lot of research in physics particle. And we established this link, we started this procurement in October to end, and we awarded the contract in January, and very early in 2021, we were able to commission the link. So the link is operational right now. This one was a very quick process because we already had a link previously that was not working very well. And because of that, we needed to start a new tender process in order to acquire this capacity, and under some more stringent requirements in order to be able to access the performance of the link and be able to compare that performance with the contract that we have. And the third process that we started was to acquire capacity for the Morocco NREN, which is called Marwan. So this process started a little late in time, and we were able to award the contract on April and commit the link on August of 2021. So right now, this is the current topology of the NREN network, ASREN network. So we have those 3 1 gig links. One link directly connects in CCK, another link to Marwan, and a third link that connects the Sesame institution in Jordan. Also, we established a point of presence. We have done some upgrading with the collaboration of Sesame. We were able to establish a point of presence for ASREN inside the Sesame institution. So Sesame is today housing the equipment for ASREN and allowing us to set up a point of presence. And we still have one of the old tunnels that we used to connect some of the NRENs in the past before the beginning of the project. So the NREN for Lebanon, the AUB, is still connected to ASREN and have transfer to research and education through our connectivity with GEANT and using a tunnel over the internet. So this is some information. It's just some excerpts from our systems, just to show that today the NOC is capable of collecting a lot of technical information that relates to the performance of the links, so we can measure that performance of the links in terms of packet loss, availability of the link, and compare those numbers, those figures, with the contracts that we have with the providers, in order to just do some reviews and ask for enhancements or improvements wherever we detect some problems. So I have taken some excerpts from the systems just to show you the evolution of the system. So I'm showing you the performance of the 3 links that we've established on the second year of the project. So we have the performance of the link to Morocco, the link to Tunisia, and also the link to Sesame. Also, during the second year of the project, because we started our server hardware infrastructure to develop the NOC services, after that, we realized that we had something in our hands. We realized that we have a lot of capacity, a lot of computing capacity, and we were able to provide those services to the community. And because of that, we started a process to try to enhance it, and using some fundings available to enhance the capacity that we established at first. So we start a procurement for a new server, a very robust server with lots of storage and lots of computing power. In order to add that server to the infrastructure, we started in our point of presence in UK. And we are awarded the contract on April 13, and by the end of May, we added another server, another hardware, another big piece of hardware to our cloud computing infrastructure. And now we have a service that we made available to the NRENs, which is to the researchers and institutions, which is the possibility to provide a virtual machine. So the big test that we did during the course of this year regarding this infrastructure was to provide a training. We provide an information security training to the region, and we had attendance of around 25 trainees, and we were able to provide a virtual machine to each one of the trainees in order to do some hands-on labs. So we tested the cloud infrastructure by providing the virtual machines to each one of the trainees so they could do the hands-on labs that were foreseen for the training. So we had 3 sections of training this year, modules 1, 2, and 3. And we heavily used the infrastructure that we set up to do that training as a test bed. So, and also because we have added some additional hardware to our point of presence, we took the opportunity during the second half of the year in order to upgrade and update all our initial virtual machines that we installed for the NOC services. So we did a very intensive upgrade and update of the operating systems and all the tools, and we take all those tools that we installed on the first year. We have put those tools in the latest version with the latest patches and corrections in order to avoid security problems. So we did a very intensive enhancement on everything that we have installed on the first year of the project. So this is the capacity that we have today. So we have a lot of virtual CPUs and memory and storage capacity available in our point of presence in London. And this is available in the form of a cloud computing service to the users. So our cloud infrastructure today, it's comprised of this architecture. We have the resources all pooled in a single data center, which is in London, and all those resources, they are used to build virtual machines. And in all the servers, in all the hardware, we installed a bare metal operating system, which is called the ESXi, which allows us to create the VMs. Some of those VMs are created for our own services. So we use several of those VMs to provide the ASREN services like the NOC services and also federated identity providers and federated services. So we have IDPs and SDPs constructed and built on top of virtual machines that we build for our own services, but also we have a lot of capacity available to provide virtual machines to the users. And this is a type of service that is called IaaS, Infrastructure as a Service. So with infrastructure as a service, the customer, the users, they can have a full virtual machine available for the user where they can install applications, where they can install some test beds and can do prototypes of some service they are thinking about providing for their constituents, their member users. So it's possible for us to provide it, and the user has full control over the operating system up. So from the operating system up, they can do all the installations that they need, and we can provide whatever operating system is available today on on the IT landscape. We also have the vSphere client, which is a platform that controls and manages all that infrastructure, all those resources. So we can provide accounts to the users so they can use that platform in order to have a very basic access to their virtual machines, a console access to their virtual machines, so they can do very basic configuration to the level of the operating system. As I said previously, the big test that we have by using this infrastructure was with the information security workshop. We have provided an information security workshop to the community where we allow each one of the users to have to take possession of a virtual machine and use that virtual machine to do the hands-on lab. So this information security training is aiming towards the future installation of this CERT, a center for incidents, security incidents related to coordinate with the other NRENs. So we provided a very basic information security training to the community, and we provided the use of that infrastructure, and it was very successful because proved that we are in the position to provide this service. We have a view of the screen of the virtual machine. So with the virtual machine, with the access to the virtual machine, the students, they were able to run some attacks over the internet, to run some configurations that provide protection to the information, and so on. So this was a very, very interesting training that we provided. We are still working on this service. It's not completely formatted yet because we need to take care about the terms of service. We need to provide some very, very well written terms of service in order to give an idea to the user, to the customer, exactly what we can provide, what are the limitations and what's possible and what is not possible. So it's important for us to have a very well-designed use policy and the terms of the service, because even if this is a service that's provided for free to the community, we need to format terms of the service in order to not raise realistic expectations from the clients. But that's basically the evolution of the network. We have done some more stuff regarding federated identities and also regarding open science, but that's something that's going to be discussed on different presentations later on this event. So thank you very much for your patience to bear with me. And if you have any questions, I'm available to answer them.
Thank you, Erico, for the nice presentation and for the detailed numbers and the progress of all the projects in ASREN. Thank you very much for the presentation. And the next presentation is about the OMREN successful initiative. It will be presented by Muhammad Al-Hajri, the infrastructure manager from OMREN, Oman, National Research Education Network. And Muhammad has worked as a network engineer and data center professional for more than 7 years in OMREN, and then the infrastructure manager for over 2 years. He is representing Oman Research and Education Network now as the acting director. His experience includes network development in several institutions in both public and private sectors. He gained a lot of technical knowledge and managerial know-how by working with Oman Data Park and OMREN projects. He is managing the transition of OMREN projects in Oman and supporting more than 50 members across the nation to enhance their infrastructure and connectivity. This allows him to closely work with the Arab State Research and Education Network in empowering other regional NRENs. He is one of the few NREN specialists in Oman, and prior to joining the National Research and Education Network there, he was a team leader in ODP and specialized in data center and infrastructure. I think from this impressive biography, we will wait for a very nice and enjoyable presentation. So, Muhammad, good luck in your presentation, and we are waiting to listen to you.
Thanks, Dr. Ahmed. I'm trying to share my presentation first. I think I'm facing a challenge here. Can you hear me first of all?
Yes, we can hear you, but I think the presentation is not yet appearing. Take your time. We are not late. We are going as expected.
No, I'm clicking on that button, but it was working now. Now it's not working, fortunately. Would I get some assistance from Hadia or Yasmin, please?
You can في أيقونة للمشاركة، الأيقونة الرابعة.
اضغط عليها بس ما شغاله.
مش شغال. طب بإمكانك إنك ترسل لنا.
Can you send it by email to Sure, I will. Sarah, and meanwhile we can start the presentation of this until we have your slides. Could this be a good scenario? I'm sending it now. Okay, so Ahmed, please start with the next speaker.
Ahmed, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Thank you for notifying me. Thank you. We will start with the next presenter right now, and then OMREN presentation will be delayed to the next. The next speaker is Azri Karlebash. I hope I pronounce it okay. The presentation is about how can NREN meet the challenge of artificial intelligence. So it's a very important title. And Esri is the associate partner, GW Plus company, United Kingdom. He has a lot of experience in Esri has a lot of experience and a lot of background in public relations and corporate communication. He is specialized in human-centered approaches to change. He has extensive experience in education and training, arts and culture, and business innovation sectors. Esri consults on business design, organizational change, strategic communication. He writes articles, white papers, and reports for clients in many sectors and for publication such as The Guardian and The Economist Intelligence Unit. Esri has delivered a range of projects and strategic reviews for European Union agencies, including 5-year editorial and communication contract for the European Training Foundation. From 2013 to 2019, he served as visiting lecturer in public relations and social theory at the University of Greenwich, London, and is a fellow of the Royal Anthropological Institute of Great Britain and Ireland, where he is the thematic lead for artificial intelligence and emerging technology. Expect a lot of this presentation, and share me welcoming Esri. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will attempt to share my screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see my presentation, which I put in the content library here. Let's do this like that. Now then, can you see that okay?
Yes.
It's not going to
see now the slide sorter.
Yeah, it won't go to full screen for some reason. I don't know why. We're having a lot of fun with these things today, aren't we? There you go. That'll do with it. So thank you. It is a great honor indeed for me to be participating in this important event. My thanks to Nikki at Géant for the introduction, to Youssef and the team at ASREN, and to my esteemed colleagues in this session. I intend to explore today briefly how NRENs can meet the challenge of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence presents three broad challenges. First, the challenge of, as we've been hearing, of hardware and software, coding and programming, all the technical innovations that address legitimate needs and opportunities. Second, the ethical challenge, identifying the legitimate needs and opportunities and understanding the moral choices AI imposes and how we should respond to them. And thirdly, the strategic and operational challenges for organizations, along with both the intended and unintended consequences of AI in day-to-day activities, including those of national research and education networks. I'm not a technical expert, so I won't comment on the first area. I will touch on the second area because I believe it is vital that everyone who engages with AI considers its ethical implications. However, my work has primarily been in the area of organizational change, and I'm going to offer a brief overview of a framework which NRENs might find helpful when planning and preparing to use AI. The framework is from a UK government-funded project in a different sector. Nevertheless, I think the insights gained and methodology employed have relevance and value for NRENs. And the project showed that it's critical to think through the human and organizational factors of adopting AI. And it proved the validity of a set of methods originating in professional design practice for addressing the challenges of any disruptive innovation. We'll look at that in more detail in a moment. First, permit me to set the context very quickly. I think if you ask pretty much any group of people to say the first thing that comes to mind when they hear the term artificial intelligence, there is a good chance that at least some of them will mention Frankenstein. Published more than 200 years ago, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein has become one of the best known sorry, there was some noise interference there. Frankenstein has become one of the best known English language novels of modern times. Its influence continues to be felt within deep-seated popular attitudes towards technological innovation, particularly artificial intelligence. The image of an artificial creature turning against its creators and destroying them appears constantly in narratives about AI, often personified through the use of humanoid robots. Even Alan Turing, the British computer scientist who was among the first to define concepts of machine intelligence in the mid-20th century, expressed this fear. Speaking to a scientific meeting in 1951, he said, and I quote, "Once the machine thinking method has started, it would not take long to outstrip our feeble powers. At some stage, therefore, we should have to expect the machines to take control," end quote. While such pervasive narratives can make people understandably suspicious, they don't necessarily provide an ideal frame for engaging with potentially transformative technology. However, as with any new technology, there are good reasons to be vigilant about the way that AI is used. This is being directly addressed within the NREN operating environment. For example, the African Union's 2021 Digital Education Strategy and Implementation Plan states that the focus of digital education policies should include the ethical adoption of artificial intelligence. And to paraphrase the case study video made by Géant on the MoreNet project in Mozambique, managing innovative technologies is fundamentally about activity, transparency, and good governance. However, in my view, these are necessary but not sufficient conditions for new technology to flourish. For instance, the availability of electricity in the early 20th century only led to significant productivity improvements after the restructuring of systems, logistics, and labor roles. Similarly, a condition for the successful use of AI is examining how it will change systems, logistics, and labor roles in today's organizations, and therefore the extent to which individuals and organizations are ready to deal with those changes. And that's known as AI readiness, and that's what the framework I mentioned earlier is all about. I was part of a team drawn from 4 UK universities and 2 private sector organisations commissioned to devise and deliver an AI readiness toolkit for professional services firms. The project was funded by UKRI, the United Kingdom Research and Innovation Body, and based on the insight that human attitudes and behaviours are as important as technical issues when introducing AI in organisations, if not more so. The specific objective was to support medium-sized law and accountancy businesses, which are increasingly confronted by disruptive competition. On the one hand, larger firms have the resources to acquire and integrate AI-based tools, while on the other hand, technology companies can relatively easily acquire legal or accounting expertise. UKRI's research showed that a large proportion of the mid-sized target businesses regard technological innovation as a low priority, at least partly for economic reasons. They simply see it as too expensive. But there is also a degree of resistance to technological change due to fears about its impact on long-established career structures, client relationships, and business models. The idea of robot lawyers replacing human lawyers was raised more than once during the research process, the shadow of Frankenstein, you might say. The overall aims of the AI Readiness Project were to help mid-sized professional services firms to understand the internal changes needed to secure strategic and operational value from AI implementation, and to build sector-wide awareness of barriers to AI readiness. The 4 universities involved each contributed an important perspective. The University of Manchester has long-standing expertise in science and technology. Lancaster University has a specialist centre studying productivity and efficiency. Oxford Brookes Business School has a particular focus on business model innovation. And University of the Arts London pioneered the application of arts and design-based methodologies in other sectors. To declare an interest here, having served some years ago as Deputy Director of Communications and External Affairs for University of the Arts London. Design itself is a diverse professional field with a wide variety in ways of doing things. We're all familiar with areas like products and packaging, or fashion, graphics, interiors, and particularly in the digital realm, user interface. Design also has important overlaps with engineering, computer science, and architecture. And studies seems to have changed my slides somehow. Anyway, I'll carry on. Studies of how designers work have highlighted particular aspects of design practice that can be adapted to other fields. For example, how designers handle uncertainty, how they maintain a focus on the human experience of new technologies, systems, or policies, how they use visualization and materialization to bring to life ideas and share them, and how they use small-scale experimentation or prototyping. Let me see if I can get that back up, to bring ideas to life. Let me see if I can resume my slides from there. How's that? So, companies applying these capabilities to their innovation processes have been shown to gain competitive advantages, such as faster time to market, greater revenue growth, and increased share price. What makes this relevant for NRENs is the high level of uncertainty about technology and innovation that characterizes the current operating environment. And while an NREN may endorse an AI strategy as a piece of analysis, the execution of that strategy is more likely to be successful if its implications have been explored from multiple angles. The approach taken by the UK RI project was based on collaborative design, a methodology that has been popularized over the past decade in both business and public sector settings under the banner of design thinking. The main premise of design thinking is that the ways in which designers work can be of value to managers, leaders, and policymakers who want to develop, test, and implement new ideas. While thinking is necessarily part of designing, so are the specific practices and methods used by designers and the working culture in which they have been developed. I'd like to suggest that one particular design thinking method that was adapted for the AI Readiness Toolkit could be helpful for NRENs looking at implementing AI. The design sprint was developed in 2014 by researchers working for Google Vouchers, Google's startup investment fund, and used as a means of rapidly developing the businesses they chose to invest in. Since then, it has spread globally and across sectors. Among other things, design sprints have been successfully used to develop public policy, advance healthcare research, and establish regional approaches to carbon neutral industrialization. In a design sprint, a project team drawn from all levels of an organization makes a time-limited commitment to work through a series of defined stages to deliver a viable outcome. In the Google Ventures format, the sprint takes place over 5 days. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. But this can be adapted to suit other circumstances, and design sprints lasting several weeks are not uncommon. The exact description of each stage can also be changed to suit the nature of the organization. The important point is to adhere to the focus of each stage, which can be characterized respectively as mapping, planning, making, testing, and reflecting. In addition to providing detailed research and insights on AI implementation, organizational change management, and business model innovation, the UK RI Toolkit includes individual design-based tools for each stage of the sprint. We don't have time today to go into the details of these tools, but what I believe is valuable for NRENs here is first the general principle of using design methods to address AI readiness, and second, the importance of engaging as many different views as possible in thinking about AI implementation. Whatever plan of action you decide on, the more collaborative it is, the more resilient it will be when unforeseen and unintended circumstances occur, as they inevitably do. One starting point for NRENs might be these use cases for AI in education, taken again from the African Union Digital Education Strategy. So they talk about using AI for dynamic learning and gamification. For example, identifying where students have problems in, say, mathematics and providing personalized assistance. Automating basic activities like grading and scheduling. Deploying AI tools to identify gaps in lectures and other materials that can leave students confused about certain topics. And providing AI tutors to support student learning in a judgment-free environment. Now, these may be more pertinent to clients than to NRENs themselves, but there will be many other sources to draw on, in defining the specific problem, issue, opportunity, or challenge to be structured and addressed through a design sprint. Once the specific sprint, Once the specific sprint issue has been selected, there are 3 tests for the viability of using a design sprint as a means of addressing it. First, it should be pitched at an appropriate scale, not so broad that it's unrealistic, nor so narrow that solving it would have little impact. Then it must connect to an agreed organizational objective or purpose. And of course, the timing needs to align with NREN strategic planning schedules. Finally, to get the most from a design sprint, you need to ensure the following are in place. A small team willing to experiment with a new approach, a broader stakeholder group that includes senior leaders and other decision makers, as well as having agreement with them in advance about how the outcomes from the sprint will be implemented. Sufficient capacity within the NREN itself to make sense of the ideas, dialogues, and connections emerging from the sprint, and resources, including time for the project team to organize the sprint, time for everyone involved to participate in it, any necessary materials, and budget for external facilitators if required. Like the professional services firms who are the focus of the AI Readiness Toolkit, NRENs must adapt to stay relevant and prepare for the future. The promise of AI is very significant, with benefits that go way beyond improving efficiency or reducing costs. Perhaps its greatest potential lies in enabling us to reimagine the fundamental NREN model in a way that builds future resilience. But the most common difficulty is simply knowing where or how to start, and the AI Readiness Toolkit offers a fast-track innovation methodology that can help any organization seeking to embark on this journey. Naturally, I've only been able to offer you a brief glimpse of the toolkit in this session, but the electronic version is freely available from the website currently on the screen if you're interested in exploring it in more detail. And I'm sure with my colleagues in ASREN, we can ensure that the URL on screen now is available for everybody later. To conclude then, meeting the technical, ethical, and organizational challenges of AI is not going to be easy, and the impact may well turn out to be very profound. Perhaps what we need now is a positive narrative about artificial intelligence to counter the Frankenstein effect. As the writer and futurist A.S. Deller said, most of the world's citizens do not want an Earth dominated by killer robots. We want a world where robots and AI work alongside us to make everything better. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for the impressive presentation. I hope we can have Muhammad Al-Hajri now. Muhammad, is the technical problem of sharing is now okay and we can listen to your presentation? I think I see now the presentation on the screen. So thank you for being with us, and sorry for any technical problem. Muhammad, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I would like to recall again and appreciate the great effort and achievement of our late director, Dr. Abdul Mun'im. Yes, today he is not with us, but he remains in us. And still the project is running with his thoughts by the team. Again, thanks, Ahmed. Special thanks to Dr. Yusuf Thurman for his invitation. Thank you all for attending the session. I would share today with you OMREN success story. Oman Research and Education Network, known as OMREN, is the official national research and education network in Oman. The project ambition in mind, aiming is to centralize the services and subscriptions for the research and education community in Oman. To do so, we have devoted our efforts in phase 1 of the project to establish a unified local network to connect and support the research and education community in the country, as well as enhancing their connectivity experience. Second slide, please. Second, yes. Just whenever I ask you to go next, and then you do it. Thanks for that. The real challenges in OMREN happened in 2016, when OMREN had a fund from government with over $28 million. But unfortunately, the financial economic crisis happened, and suddenly that fund turned to $0. Did the project stop? Of course, no. Did OMREN team lose the hope? No. We started looking into other concepts and other funding model to continue, and we found the best is to go with collaboration and aligning our vision with local ISP from private sector. Today we are very proud to exceed the target and managed to connect all of our members with MPLS links, a minimum of 250 Mbps as a mesh connection, and furthermore providing ILL and international link to every one of them, to Giant, Internet2, APAN, and ASREN. These are, the next one please. These are some challenges that the members used to face: high cost of ILL and MPLS, no digital library, no international collaboration, low speed of internet. OMREN started the services based on the needs of the community. Next, please. We are very proud to exceed our expectations in the number of services enabled by the connectivity links. Today, we are providing 18 services to our community. 85% of the students in higher education in the country are connected to OMREN. 93% of the researchers benefiting OMREN services. 90% of the universities are members and subscribe to OMREN. We are very happy that unsubscribed members start to approach OMREN themselves, which means a lot to us in terms of trust, quality of service, and it means that the community is starting to accept the change. This is a simple demonstration of our infrastructure, where the members are connected with very high-speed MPLS links displayed in red to each other. Furthermore, to OMREN data center, where all of our services are hosted. In this scenario, we have three great benefits for the member using the MPLS connection. First one, the members can reach the services which are hosted in OMREN data center by MPLS connection. The second one, the members can reach the international services provided by the organizations shows in the left hand side by the MPLS, where there is an international link from OMREN data center to the international organizations, as it shows that the members now can reach the international services without utilizing their own internet connection. Third benefit, member can build site-to-site VPN over the existing MPLS connection between them. This is a very much secure, very high speed, and they will save their ILL utilization for other users. In addition, we are providing ILL connection minimum of 50 Mbps up to 1 GB, as it shows in the green, as well as international links, which I have just mentioned. I would like here to mention one of the biggest issue that we have solved. One of our members used to pay before joining OMREN, used to pay $49,000 a month for only ILL connection of 150 MB. Today, they are paying only $18,000 a month for a comprehensive package of 500 of ILL connection, 500 MB MPLS, international connections, and other 15 services. And they are very happy with OMREN. These are the services, the back please. These are the services provided to OMREN members. We have end user, EduRoam, Mursal is the file sender, Shu'a is Oman research repository, Masadir is the e-library, which has 22 subscription, ICE, IEEE, EBSCO, and so on. Video conference, the speed test here, special for the MPLS connection. Normally, the way to test MPLS connection from point to point to send a file and then you can see the speed. Here we have, we own a server in our data center so that you can do on-time test on your MPLS connection. OMREN Data Center, we have a strategic partner, Oman Data Park, and they are providing many services. EduGain, we keep announcing our members, the EduGain services, OMREN Federation, SSL certificate. We are providing an account in Sectigo for our members, and they can issue unlimited number of SSL certificates, and that's for free. ILL, OMREN MPLS, the international connection. We are hosting our members' domain in our data center for free. We are providing over 1 million IPv6 to each of our members. We are providing up to 32 public IP of IPv4 static. We have a NOC working 24/7. Task force, I will explain it in coming slides. We believe that collaboration is a key element to move forward and achieve more. In our journey, we are grateful we had the support of many experts and leaders from international research and education community. We are always keen to learn and gain knowledge, and we trust that such collaboration and initiatives are essential for any NREN. Furthermore, we call for more collaboration in the NREN community and hope for suitable policies to support NRENs from decision makers. OMREN long-term target is to enhance the facilities for members and encourage to reach the innovation level. To reach innovation level, they need to collaborate with each other, supporting each other, align the efforts. To do so, they need to be connected to each other. This is the reason why we have connect, collaborate, innovate as OMREN slogan, the one before. Connect, collaborate, innovate. Yes, next please. As of today, OMREN has completed phase 1, which was mainly concentrated on the connections. As I have mentioned before, that OMREN members, which are more than 50 colleges and universities are connected to each other over MPLS and extra connection, ILL, internet, international connections, which has been provided to them. OMREN is currently in the transition stage from phase 1 to phase 2. Each phase is a 5-year strategic contract with a local ISP. We are about to announce our new strategic partner in coming 2 to 3 weeks. For our next new phase, we will concentrate on a collaboration. For that, we have made sure to enable certain new services. First one is the task force team. Actually, task force team is already enabled. Task force team is a team of volunteers from OMREN members. The team is total of 6 engineers from different colleges and universities. They contact each other and discuss the challenges that other colleges facing, challenges such as EduRoam and federation implementation. They work on it and they solve it, and they keep helping those who are cannot solving such challenges. OMREN Ambassadors. It's an idea to have OMREN focal point in the most of the members. It's like a trained student by OMREN team in his first or second year who can introduce OMREN and OMREN services to his colleagues very closely and show them how can they benefit of OMREN services and what is OMREN providing. The third one is Sarh. Sarh, this idea started as a request from individual researchers who are very interested to use some of OMREN services, but they are not belongs to any of OMREN members. Then we decided to bring a service that filled their needs. Sarh is a new service which will be announced soon. It is special for individual researchers. They will be able to use few of OMREN services like EduRoam, Federation, Masadir, the e-library, and Mursal, which is the file sender. Estibian is a survey service, and that's we're going to announce it soon. It's a survey service for the researchers. It is very advanced. It will be provided by a local company called Data Mining by OMREN with very special price for OMREN members. iGmeet is a video conference solution provided by a local company. As we know that video conferences utilizing a bandwidth. The real good benefit here that OMREN members will not use their internet connection to run their video sessions on campus. They will be utilizing their MPLS connection instead. As mentioned before, that the minimum speed is 250 MB, so it will be more than enough for running a video conference. Thank you for listening. I tried to make it very short. I know we are late. Thanks for hearing.
Thank you, Muhammad, for the impressive presentations and the new advances you mentioned in OMREN network. Thank you very much. After seeing and listening to three national research and education network and see how can NRENs meet the challenge of AI and talking about the network and services, it's now time to talk about people, the students, and their skills. So the next presentation is about certified skills for future. The presentation will be done by Gergana Petrova from RIPE NCC, Netherlands. Gergana has a lot of experience in this particular area. She worked with RIPE NCC for the past 9 years as a part of the external relations team. She helped lead the RIPE NCC engagement with a broad range of stakeholders, including membership, RIPE community, government, law enforcement, and other internet stakeholders. Gergana also coordinates the RIPE Academic Cooperation Initiative that connects researchers and academic with the RIPE community. So Gergana, the floor is yours. Could you please say something? I didn't listen. I didn't hear you. Are other colleagues, can you hear her?
I cannot hear.
No.
Cannot hear.
I'm not sure that your microphone is well connected. Could you please recheck? Can we have help from Hadia or Yasmin?
Nope.
Gergana, we are still not able to hear you. We can see you. The video was there, but and the presentation was there, but we cannot hear you.
Okay, let me try again. I'm gonna try with my AirPods. Do you maybe hear me now?
Yes.
You hear me?
Very clear
Okay.
now. Yes, yes. Please
Fantastic.
proceed. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Do you see if I'm sharing anything? Do you see my slides at the moment?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No, just a second. From start. Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that microphone malfunction. I'm not sure what that it was due to. My name is Gergana Petrova, and I work at the external relations team at Ipcc. Ipcc, that's the regional internet registry for Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Central Asia. So that means that we distribute IP address blocks, and we also keep a database of where each block has gone to. This is, I think, the third time that I'm speaking at e-AGE, and probably you remember me from previous years. I spoke about RIPE Atlas, which is our measurement platform for various internet measurements. A lot of network operators use it to do troubleshooting. And also I've spoken about RIPE RIS, that's our routing information service that contains a lot of routing data from internet exchange points. Today I'm going to give a presentation on an initiative from a different department, our Learning and Development Department at Ipcc. And their initiative is called Certified Professionals. As the name suggests, it has to do with certifications. So we launched a project to offer Ipcc certifications based on research that our Learning and Development Department did several years ago that suggested that there is quite a lot of need for certifying skills such as in the fields of IP address management, IPv6 technologies, and network security. So the certification we are offering now basically would show the person's ability to use best practices in line with the RFCs, and that are also in line with what industry requires, the skills that industry requires. After taking the exams, the people get a digital badge that can be then shown to be it an employer, be it a customer, and it's a way to basically show that you have certain skills. When we were doing this research, when we're thinking about starting this project, we were looking at what skills are in demand in the market right now. According to to research by CompTIA, cloud computing was amongst the highest in-demand skills in the market for 2021, and it was expected to increase even more in the future. And that also involves quite a lot of network engineering skills and understanding of how internet protocols work. So just to show you some of the research that we used, they asked organizations, what sort of technologies do you think are going to be adopted by your company in the next few years, by 2025? And you can see that cloud computing was number one. Previously, in 2018, that was big data analytics, and now cloud computing has overtaken that and expected to grow even more in the future. Other very popular ones are Internet of Things and connected devices, encryption and cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and so on. But we thought that one of a very common denominator in quite a lot of those is the knowledge of network security, of network configuration and network security, and basically networking in general. Then the team decided to think, okay, what are the advantages of of us stepping in to fill this gap. So first of all, Ipcc has quite a lot of experience in technical fields, and we have quite a lot of employees, but also a network of people that we work with on a regular basis outside of the organization itself. And so we decided we are really well suited to offer such certification. We are also not for profit, as you may know. We're not connected to any particular vendor, which allows us to be neutral and create certifications that are not influenced by a particular industry players. When we developed our content, we wanted to make sure that it's focused on industry and practice and basically practical skills as much as possible, so not theoretical and academic. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, having the certification certifies that you definitely have the practical skills to go out and do what you're expected to do. At the moment, we have 3 learning paths. So how this works? We have both a course and an exam in each of those paths. The course, if people choose to take, for example, if they don't think they possess the knowledge yet, they can take the course in the RIPE Academy. So that's you can go in RIPE Academy. That is a URL that is and courses that are open to anybody to take. There is no fee, there is no sign-up fee, or you don't have to be a Ipcc member. These are courses that are open for anybody to take. The URL is academy.ripe.net. I would encourage you to go and check it out. If maybe recommend it to your students. So those courses, once you take those courses, you can then schedule the exam and to get certified. The 3 areas that we offer both courses and exams, that's in IP address management, and the particular course and exam are called the RIPE database. The other one is in Ipv6 technology, and the course and exam for that are Ipv6 Fundamentals. And then finally, there is network security, and at the moment, the course and exam we offer in that field is Ipv6 security. So briefly, how it works. First, we recommend to schedule the exam so that you have, a particular date in mind to work towards. Then, if you feel that at the moment you don't have the knowledge yet, then subscribe to the RIPE Academy and take the free courses that are available there. Or you can use other materials that there are online, whether they're Ipccs or others, that doesn't matter. Ipcc also offers webinars that are like short webinars for like 1 hour on particular topics. So you can also use those. Then you can take the exam once you're ready, and it's under the supervision of a live proctor. So that's what makes it a little bit different than, for example, other online exams that don't offer certification. So there is really like a person that makes sure that you are taking the exam. They check the IDs, and this also makes it verifiable. And then at the end of the exam, if you pass, you obtain a digital badge that you can share online. So what I can share with you, for all our members at the moment, we are giving 3 free vouchers that you can give to members of your team, for example, if you like, for them to take the course and the exam and to get certified. If you or your organization, you're interested in having more certificates than that, please get in touch with us, and we can talk about a tailored program for your university or organization. We would like to definitely have some partnerships with institutions to make it easier for more people to get this certification. Another thing I wanted to mention is the team that is behind this program. So it's quite a lot of a lot of people working on this. I already mentioned the webinars that we have on multiple topics that that people can watch in preparation to the exams. There are exam guides that can guide you through the entire process. Already shared information about the RIPE Academy, and finally, and that is especially pre-COVID times, we were offering in-person training courses for our members. At the moment, all of these training courses are now online, and I think, yeah, if you're interested, I'll definitely encourage you to join those as well. And those are my last 3 slides. I would actually like to talk a little bit more about what about the 3 courses and exams. So the first one is Ipv6 Fundamentals. If there are some recommended knowledge that you should have before you take such an exam. As you see on the slides, they recommend at least 3 months of experience in working with IPv6 addresses, for example, creating an addressing plan, and being able to, for example, write and compress IPv6 addresses. And then what this course certifies is basically you should be able to calculate version 6 subnets according to current best practices. You should be able to create addressing plans. You should be able to identify and describe how the different IP version 6 supporting protocols work, how they impact the networks. You should be able to identify different use cases for specific transition mechanisms, and of course also be able to outline some reasons to transition from IP version 6 to from IP version 4 to IP version 6. Yeah, actually all of our exams, I forgot to mention, they last 60 minutes, and they have the format is a mix between multiple choice, multiple answers, drag and drop, and matching questions. Then the IP version 6 security expert exam, that is slightly more advanced, that's more advanced level. So you should already have good networking knowledge of both IP version 4 and IP version 6. You should have good knowledge of not only IP version 6, but also other protocols. You can see on the slide ICMP version 6, NDP, MLD, DHCP version 6. You should have familiarity with traffic filtering, knowledge about routing protocols, and specifically about BGP. And you should have some experience with security assessment tools. So an exam, this IP version 6 security exam certifies that you're capable to design high-level strategy to protect a version 6 network against various common threats. And you should be able to demonstrate your ability to analyze and also identify common IP version 6 security threats, and then create a plan or an action plan to mitigate them. You should be able to assess the security of the network, as well as make sure that you have the latest information for network vulnerabilities, as well as techniques to mitigate them. The format is very similar, 60 minutes, and again, a mix of questions, question formats. And then the RIPE Database Associate exam, this is actually the first course and exam that we have. So if you have heard about the certified professionals, probably this is the one that you heard us talk about 2 years ago. So the knowledge that is recommended for people to have in order to take this exam is they should be able to create and update objects in the RIPE database, and ideally have completed some RIPE database e-learning course. And so when you take this certification and the exam, Basically, it certifies that you can search and interpret data in the right database. You should be able to update and register the data. You can use different flags to query the IP addresses, whether they are version 4 or version 6, and you should be able to register assignments, suballocations, and you can also register routing policies and set up reverse delegation. As I mentioned, the format is similar, 60 minutes, different types of questions, and for all 3 exams, the candidate must score at least 70% of the questions right in order to pass and get the badge. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. I'm going to include in the chat the link to both the Certified Professionals and the RIPE Academy. Just to remind everyone, the RIPE Academy, the courses available there are free for everyone to take, not just our members. So thank you for your attention today, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Gergana, for the informative presentation, and thank you all. We have about 8 minutes, so we can have a couple of questions. So if any one of the audience is interested to ask one of the speakers, just raise your hand and give us the question and who is the speaker to which you address the question. And I think it will be the pleasure of everyone to help. If we cannot have more than 2 questions, then please send an email to the speaker if we cannot accommodate all the questions. So I'm just checking if there is any question here or in the questions and answers.
There is 2 questions in the question and answer panel. The first one for Mr. Mohammed Al-Hajri from Dr. Hanna. What is the status of peering between OMREN and other network in Oman?
What is the status of what?
Peering.
I didn't get the question.
Could you please repeat the question? I think Engineer Mohammed didn't hear it well.
What is the status of peering between OMREN and the other networks in Oman?
Other networks in Oman. We already connected with over 50 organizations in Oman. And we have a mesh of MPLS connection with all of our members, as well as they are connected to OMREN data center by the same MPLS connection.
Thank you, Mohammed. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. For all speakers, how do you see NRENs and regionals' role with regard to services that go beyond connectivity? Should they take more advantage of their position as an articulator of the academic community? Example, AI, capacity development, more resources for it.
Okay. Should we start with Dr. Sausan? Do you think NRENs can go beyond their normal operating points to provide capacity for building capacity for something like artificial intelligence or other aspects? Dr. Sausan, I think you are muted.
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay.
I have a question. Yes. I have a question for Ms. Gergana.
I suppose you will answer the question of one of the audience who asked if NRENs can go beyond providing connectivity to applications and building capacity in new aspects like artificial intelligence. Is this something that is in the vision of the Tunisian NREN or the Khawarizmi Center. I will ask also this for OMREN and for Turkey as well, for Muhammad. Then we can listen to your question to Gergana.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, from our side, let's say that for strategic projects, we plan to develop some platforms based on artificial intelligence components. So for engineers, for computing. So we are trying to develop some platforms based on artificial intelligence. Yes, but not for operational plans. Yes, not for now. For the next year. This is our vision. So my question is the following: how to launch certifications with Ms. Gergana? We are really interested in certified trainings and so on. So how to proceed?
Okay.
Yes, I think the best is I've just included my email in the chat. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I think
yes,
just send me an email in the chat. I've sent my email address in the chat, gpetrova@ripe.net. Please send me an email. And if you can let me know, for example, the number of students or people in your team that you are thinking to certify, I will connect you with my colleagues from Learning and Development Department, and they can probably give you some sort of a discounted offer for that. Especially having in mind that for academic institutions, it's not the discounts are bigger than the for-profit organizations. So please also mention that in your email so that you can get a better deal.
Can I
Please, Yusuf, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just want to add something, because I know that RIPE NCC do not cover North Africa, because they belong in terms of addresses under ASREN. So does the model that you offered, Gergan, does it apply for all operators or just for RIPE NCC?
So
and if it is for RIPE NCC, how can we take it for North Africa at least?
Yeah, so the certifications are for the whole world. Anybody can take those certifications.
Good.
The only thing is that our members get 3 free vouchers. So if you're not our member, then you don't get the 3 vouchers, but you can still reach us. You can still reach us to have some sort of a discussion depending on how many certifications you want to take. We can have an agreement on that.
Can we donate some vouchers to Tunisia? ASREN is eligible for vouchers.
I think, so
we'll take it later. But
exactly, please drop me an email. Yes.
We want to help CCK as much as we can.
Yes, drop me an email. I will connect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gergana. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Dr. Sausan. We have only half a minute, so I would like to answer the question sent before about what is the role of NRENs in building capacity for artificial intelligence and similar aspects. Muhammad, please tell us your vision in this.
So we are an NREN, but we are also a high-performance computing center, and we are a cloud team. On NREN side, what we try to do is we try to facilitate data sharing. And what you need is data for AI research. So once we bring the data on our HPC platform, we also encourage and provide tools and libraries for AI research and hardware, actually, several GPUs on our platform. But we are both HPC and NREN. So mostly on the NREN side, what we do is facilitate data sharing. If need be, use EduGain from Jehan, authentication authorization infrastructure that exists for it, and help AI researchers find the data actually they need. Similarly, that's why we are an EOSC European Open Science Cloud member. You need data for researchers, whether it's AI or research unrelated to AI. Data is crucial, so we use our NREN side to actually facilitate data sharing.
Thank you. Mohammed from Oman, do you agree to this, or you have any other aspects?
I'll answer Yasmin's question first regarding role of NRENs beyond connectivity. OMREN providing 3 services, which are connectivity, will go beyond. OMREN providing today 15 services out of the connectivity. Regarding AI, our strategic partner, Oman Data Park, has announced last month an AI solution and HPC. And we are going to have a session with our community, introduce these new services to OMREN community, AI plus high performance computing. I'll add something here. Will OMREN think will go beyond connectivity? There is an idea to build OMREN today for research and education. There is another copy will be built for the I lost it, medical sector. So we will be a connectivity for all hospitals, and this is the idea comes up for the all hospitals and medical sector in Oman. It will be like an OMREN, but there is a bridge between them. We will have like e-library, but in medical, and connectivity within all medical centers in Oman.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for the nice presentations, and thanks for the audience and for ASREN for inviting me to have this session with you. Thank you all. I hope you have very fruitful days tomorrow and after tomorrow. And we were lucky that we don't have presentations after us, so we got 3 extra minutes with this distinguished company of professors and distinguished engineers. Thank you all.
Can I just, before closing the day, thank you, Ahmed, for accepting to host the conference, the session. You did that excellently, and thank the speaker. All the speakers, everyone has provided very good insight and so on. Maybe I don't have the time to thank all, but to start with quickly with Sausan, you did a great presentation, and we share a great vision together. Muhammad, I think we need to discuss. We are in a process towards open science, and I see you have harvesting platform there. We are now initiating our harvesting infrastructure, which together we can collaborate also in this. Muhammad Al-Hajri, thank you, and we are always proud of Oman. You are going beyond the connectivity, as I see, and I remember I and Ahmed Hassan, we were in Muscat when OMREN was launched, and it's 6 years actually, and now you are doing amazing things. So further to that, Isri, I think you did excellent. Opened an excellent window for cooperation, and I will be in touch with you. I will take a detailed presentation for you to my community in our monthly meeting. So I will arrange for that to take it further. It's very important, at least at the level that you have proposed. Gergana, we always thank you as for your continuous support as a sponsor, as also as partner, and for offering these services also together. I hope I did not forget any speaker for today. Did I miss anyone? Eriko.
We have Eriko.
Eriko, we are because he's ASREN, so should we appreciate ourselves? But I need to appreciate Eriko, not myself, not ASREN. Eriko has been added a lot for ASREN. So Eriko, thank you for the presentation. Yeah. I did thank everyone. Special thanks again to Sausan, and I think we will do a great job again. One of the audience who asked many questions, Mark Urban, my friend Mark Urban. We were last week together in Poland. Mark, thank you very much for the questions, and as I promised, we will build on what we have agreed to cooperate further between the three continents, Europe, Africa, and Latin America. By this, I hope I did not forget anyone. So thank you all, and the session will close in seconds, unless there is any comment from anyone. And I hope you can join also tomorrow and the day after. Thank you all.
Yusuf, I would like to thank you, and
you.
just to give a message, please share the successful initiatives everywhere to other places, because I think we will be very happy if we attend the Oman launch of the new services. And it's time now that services from one NREN is available to others. So I appreciate very much the role of ASREN in this. It will make a lot of difference. And instead of rework every NREN, rework the other route, then we can share the route together. Thank you all.
Thank you, and I would like to thank my Tunisian guide, Shukri.
Thank you all.
Shukri also, thank you very much. So see you tomorrow, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
And goodbye.
Thank you. Bye now.